Hello! Welcome back to another episode of Barbarians Only. We'll be continuing on the path of legends, working our way towards the Masters Leagues. Our opponent playing some fairly low elixir cards. For some reason we're getting kind of a Goblin Giant vibe. Obviously totally unfounded, so we will have to be prepared for anything. Again, Skeleton Army, a very low elixir card, so we will be using a Mirror Barbarian Barrel. It's a quicker way to use your mirror in a cycle, as obviously using it on a Barbarian hut or Barbarians would be quite costly. So we're going to flood barbs to the left. This could be quite dangerous if our opponent has the evolved archers. But it looks like we'll be okay here. We're going to take some damage, but not nearly as much as we gave off on the right. And that's part of the reason why we split the barbs in that way, where we put 3 on the side that was not being attacked, and 2 on the side that was. That way when we put the Barbarian hut along with the side that is being attacked, we have 5 and 3. We're going to be really cheeky and do a double freeze there, because we kind of just want to kill this tower, and that's really going to offset our opponent. Because we have evolved Barbarians, we are a lot stronger against the threat of Golem, and this Night Witch isn't going to get any significant damage at all. So we will probably be able to cycle back to a freeze if we'd like to, and we would. So we're going to be using a Rage early, a Barbarian Ram in the back, since it is double elixir. Again, we want as much value as possible from all of the spells we'll be using to support. And so you can see there that we were able to handle all of that quite well. We'll be baiting this Night Witch over to the right, and there should not be enough time remaining. As we see, we have 10 seconds left with access to freeze and mirror freeze. And so just for the points, we will take an extra tower, and we'll close that game out. Night Witch Golem has been a very powerful deck in the past. I do not feel like it's incredibly powerful against Barbarians specifically. However, that is one of the reasons why we have freeze in the deck at all. Dealing with that kind of pressure without freeze is very, very difficult. We would, and we have tried, like to remove freeze from our deck. We don't really like the card, but we do unfortunately feel it is quite necessary. We're going to be holding the arrows in case of something like Skeleton Army or something. But we're just going to ignore it because we'll get huge damage on the tower as he misplaces his Inferno Tower. Then we will get some bonus damage on the Inferno Tower. The Firecracker will be killed and we'll hit the tower. And we're looking at this. We don't usually like playing Barbarians behind the King Tower, especially when they have Fireball. However, when we're advantaged like this, it can be pretty alright. We're going to be doing the split Barbarian so many timing attack. And this is because if he commits with Fireball on one lane, we should be able to get big damage on the other. And as you notice, we have the Barbarian Ram available. And that will allow us to deal with his attack over there on the right. We kind of set him up so that he wasn't wanting to use Fireball, as we had 5 Barbarians on each lane. But because we managed to get it in his head that he didn't want to use Fireball, we were able to kind of knock him off his feet there. And so here we'll just be going with defensive play. Arrows on the back. We have mirror arrows. Again, it's kind of conditioning, baiting type play. But oftentimes if you use arrows, they are more inclined to use princess or firecracker, as they think you don't have it anymore. And similarly, when you have goblin barrel, if you use a barbarian barrel, they will be less likely, or more likely to use the gob barrel after that, because they think you have no answer. So a little bit of a misclick there. Fortunately, our barbarian is still going to be able to kill that evolved firecracker. We'll be able to stop this tower from getting too much damage taken on it. All we have to do at this point is defend the hut, and as you can see the time remaining, we are very close to being able to use our freeze. And so we'll use it here with 7 seconds left. And we have the mirror freeze if we did need it, which we do not, but we'll use it anyway, just to remind him that he had no chance. It's going to be another win for Barbarians. And we're going to continue on. Mega Knight, although an incredibly powerful card against Barbarians, obviously, it's almost like he's designed to counter Barbarians. There are ways to play around it. This isn't great. So what we're going to do, actually, we messed it up, which is always fun. But you let the first wave hit your tower and just ignore it. And then you hit the second wave with arrows along with the hut. And then you see only one more goblin would have spawned. And that's not the worst thing in the world. Situations like this can call for some creative strategies. We're going to put a hut behind the king or the princess tower. This will keep the barbarians fairly far back, which will mean the firecracker won't target them, allowing us to clean that up with a barbarian barrel. And as now he potentially overcommits with a poison, we'll be able to do a large barbarian timing attack. We see the position that he places his spear goblins. We are holding the firecracker, or arrows for firecracker, I should say. He does have some good cards. And again, misplacement. It's going to allow that lumberjack to get damage on tower. In return, of course, we'll take a little bit less damage on the barbarians. But the spear goblin is being utterly disgusting on the cost effectiveness. We still feel like we can win this game. We're going to go with barbarians at the very back because we're going into double elixir. We do not have a good hand for double elixir, and we're going to see a very uncommon usage of a barbarian barrel early for no reason other than to have 3 on both sides. We're going to put a hut very far forward, and this is so that the golem will be stuck up there. We're going to be getting large damage on the right. Hopefully that barbarian will be able to handle everything. And here again, we just need to cycle low elixir cards. It's very important. That firecracker will not get enough damage done to kill that tower. And we will now just be able to defend with either freeze or whatever, really. We'll be taking this game. Another golem match. Those are always difficult. They can get out of hand very quickly. And the firecracker, along with his usage of the firecracker, were quite strong. So I think we'll end off the video here. We'll keep pushing on some more towards the Master Leagues. I still feel like I'm a bit underleveled, as I said, but it's always fun to play these matches, and whenever you play Barbarians only, there is a risk for your opponent to beat you. You only have Barbarians, so really you're going to have to be playing better than your opponent strategically and positionally, the raw power of your barbarian cards will not be enough. So it's always interesting, and that's part of the reason why I like the deck. It's not something where you just mindlessly play a certain order of cards and events play out. It's more of a very fluid, dynamic way to play against the game, where truly almost anything is a very significant threat that you're going to have to deal with, and you'll have to deal with it in a way that still allows you to deal with their other threats. So I hope over some of these episodes and watching them, you've kind of come to appreciate some of the Barbarians-only nature. I hope you give it a try. Again, if you want, this is the deck here. I did just recently get the Evolved Barbarians. I am working on getting everything level 15. But if you have these cards, you can give this a try. I have used this deck since way, way back in the day, before I even ever got to Challenger 1. Way, way back, like, before you have every card unlocked and stuff like that. And you can use it. Obviously, it's going to be difficult if you're under-leveled with your cards. I won't lie, that will be a challenge. But because the way that you're beating your opponents is a lot of strategic decision-making, you can work around that. So I encourage you, give it a try. Again, I'd love to see some other people playing it and letting me know how that goes. I have a lot of strategies created for this deck and ways that things come up. I'd like to make some more thorough videos on that. But I am just one barbarian, so if anyone else has any other ideas or creative input into the deck, I'd love to see variations on the deck, or what else. Personally, I do feel like this deck is the most stable. As you probably noticed from the videos, I have quite a high win rate. Probably, on average, my win rate is about 85%, which is very high, but I do have to caveat that with I don't play very much, and so probably often I'm over-leveled or under-leveled, depending on how you look at that. But my win rate is very high when I'm actually trying with this deck, and so I feel like even if I go up against decks that are quite favored against us, we do have wiggle room to work in that. So give it a try, and go Barbar Nation. Thanks for watching.